Like if you're listening right now, if you're investing in NFTs, it has to be a sum of money that you can afford to have to go to zero. People playing with their real life on something this volatile are in a very vulnerable spot. What I worry about is that people don't understand the macro and the micro or the nuance. You could buy 17 projects of NFTs. All of those could go from you spending $900 a piece down to $12, and NFTs can still win as a genre. It's called sports cards. It's called comic books. You could have bought $1 million worth of comic books in 1979 and not picked X-Men and Spider-Man and Superman and Batman. You might have just decided. I'll give you an example. I invested tens of thousands of dollars when I was 18 into Valiant and Image comics, all of which have gone down to basically zero. But had I spent that same $10,000 on vintage X-Men and Spider-Man and Superman comics, 20 years later, I would have done well. I picked the wrong comics. I lived that actual life. Actually, this is a really good one. I'm going to use this a little bit. I picked the wrong comics, but I was right about comics. I saw back in 1999 that nerd culture was going to become mainstream culture. I was right. I was buying toys and comics. But instead of buying a bunch of Toy Biz Invisible Women and Iceman figures for 80, 90, and $100 at shows, I should have been buying, Transformer Gen 1 in package. And that's what I think is happening right now with NFT land. People are buying the newest mint, the newest mint, the newest fad, the newest influencer pump. And what you're looking for is the 4 to 5 to 15 to 75 really good projects. I believe the only way you even have a prayer is to make a judgment call on the founder.
How do you think about people that look at NFTs and say, I get it, but do I have the time to dig deep in Discord communities? Do I have the time to look at every project? Just walk me through your thoughts.
To that person, I say, look, it's so volatile and early now, but you can decide if you want that whether it's punks or apes or VeeFriends or cool cats or doodles or world of women, it's all very early, but there is a subgroup that is slightly ahead of its peers. And if you really, really want to go there, you can set and forget. I'm fairly set and forget. One of the things I've loved about this space is my wallets are public. People can see my behaviors. Now, I'm also buying certain projects because I want to support certain artists. I'm buying certain projects because I do think it's high risk, high reward. So I would say there's a gambling component to the way I think about it. I'm like, ooh, this project, I'm not even sure I like it. But my brain showed me the path to it being a smash hit. So let me just set it and forget it. And maybe it's 12% likelihood that it's going to happen. But if it does happen, it's so crazy. And if I do 8 of those and 1 hits, it pays for the other 7. And the reason I keep telling people not to buy what I buy is I genuinely believe that 90% of the people are day trading. They're completely day trading, which, by the way, this is the world. Most of the world has got freedom. Do what you want with your money. I surely can't set or tell people what to do with their money. I also think that when you day trade, what I'm fascinated by is these day traders are mad at the founders of projects when their product isn't pumping every hour on the hour. And I tell a lot of founders, I'm like, you're listening to your Discord. And your Discord is filled with people that are looking for super duper short-term ROI. And you're building a project that you want to be your project for the rest of your life. Those interests don't align. I don't think a lot of people are navigating their projects properly right now because they're playing boy that cries wolf, because they're doing something every hour on the hour to appease people in the Discord who are not their community, who are there actually to do their own short-term pump for their own value. And I think that a lot of founders are going awry by over-listening to people that have their own financial vested interest in mind in a very short period of time versus the founder navigating her or his project in perpetuity.
Yeah, I mean, you're an investor. You get this more than anyone. everyone wants to be an investor, right? There's a bunch of solo capitalists. Everyone wants to go out and invest money in these companies, whether private or public or whatever it is. How do you think about that shift from like, should more people be focusing on the entrepreneurial aspect of this and building their own personal brands, or is the investor route the right way to go?
I think self-awareness is the right way to go. Like for example, a lot of my friends make fun of me because I've had such a good investing career, and they're like, what do you like 14 hours a day of meetings with clients? What are you doing? And I'm like, I enjoy being an operator. And so I think, I have a lot of friends who've transitioned and jumped up and down to both, from operator to investor, from investor to operator, investor, operator, investor, operator, operator, investor, operator, and they've done the whole nine. And I think, there's a lot of people listening right now that should never be either. That should be a number 6 at a great company. I've talked about this in the past a lot, and I've gotten incredible emails from people who sought out a great company, Calm. I remember somebody sent me an email. They're like, you changed my life. I was listening to a podcast. I thought I had to be a founder because it was cool. And you said, no, just like be self-aware. I was employee number 13 at Calm. This happened to me. Or I was employee number 27 at this epic company. So I think to answer your question, I think it's self-awareness. Like if you genuinely enjoy investing and you think you're good at it and it's enjoyable and it's fulfilling, then mazel tov. For me, I'm very proud that at the age of 22, May of 1998 to now January of 2022, 24 years straight, every day, I have been the sole pressure on my back to make payroll of a business, every day. And I successfully built my dad's business. I built one of the largest independent agencies in the world. I co-started and sold Resi. I co-started and sold Empathy Wines. I've got VeeFriends, which I'm operating. I have a lot of pride in being an actual operator. I always smirk because I've done such a prolific job with social content. And social content is just like a amuse-bouche. It's not a real meal. When people say funny things like, what does Gary Vee even do? Meanwhile, I'm doing so many operating things at once. It always makes me laugh, but it means that I've prolifically shown the public speaker or the pontificator of ideas on social. But it's not as obvious that I'm running a 1,500-person global agency holding company, or that I'm running a 25-person NFT business, or the Resis and the Empathies and the other things I've done that have been derivatives of the VaynerX infrastructure. And that is really where I have my pride. I'm an operator. Giving up the first 12 years of my career, and I mean really giving it up, 7 days a week retail, never getting paid a lot of money, building a business that I left at 34 years old with nothing and no ownership of, is disproportionately the greatest accomplishment of my career, because emotionally it strikes me on every tear duct I have in my body. I fundamentally changed the financial status of my parents, and they're the two people that I most adore. They did everything for me. They immigrated to a new country. My mom is like the ultimate. She built all my emotional graph. My dad worked every hour to make our American dream come true. It's something that I hope, as we end this podcast, that people can really, especially kids that are growing up in a family business, can really take in, because what I had is all that funny stuff that people laugh at me about, of like, you got time, you're young, and all the jokes of like my videos about that. I lived it. I was 22. I knew that I was young. I knew that I'd be young at 34 or whenever I left my dad's business. And I didn't have the resentment or the angst of building it for him. And I built a business from a $3.8 million business to a $65 million business, which was game-changing for my family.
Yeah.
And I left happy and accomplished. And I'm a 46-year-old man now, 12 years later. And I feel so grateful that I did that, because I played out my thesis. I built for them, and I have had enough time to build for myself. And now at 46, I have the taste of both. I've been able to do the noble, selfless, altruistic, son of a parent group that he loves so much move that is like I'm extremely proud of in my soul. And I've been able to do the accomplish things for myself, my selfish needs, the things I need for me. And it's a great fucking feeling.
Yeah, I really respect, and I mean, that was obviously a great answer, but I really respect everything that you, your brother, your whole family is building, right? Because I see a lot of parallels in my life where I get a ton of enjoyment out of doing things with my family, with my brothers, with my parents, right? And it's like by far and away the most rewarding part of any of this is the money doesn't come with you, right? So it's obviously fun to win, but it's more fun to do it together.
It's the best, like dinners, laughing, war stories, like it's the best. It's the best. Anyway, I'm over time. I got to get to something else.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we'll do it again sometime soon, Gary. Thank you.
I hope so.